Well, I think first of all, I just want to acknowledge that I think oftentimes we're talking about the same or very similar things. For me, responsibility is about how a company conducts itself, whereas a purpose is really asking the question as to why a company exists in the first place. So what is the company's North Star? And I think unless you ask that question, actually responsible business becomes difficult to do, because how do you make decisions in practice? Well, we're finding that purpose is now quite popular, and as people talk more and more about purpose, we're talking more and more about people, because you could have a purpose-led company, but it could still not be a very great place to work. And also, to be able to truly be a purpose-led company, people have to be motivated and inspired to be able to commit and to be able to work towards that purpose. So we feel like there's a huge link between purpose and actually asking the questions around human motivation. And that link, I think, needs to be nurtured by the HR team. I think it's a very important question, because I think at the moment, as purpose becomes very popular, we're at risk of purpose wash. I think the only way really of ensuring that purpose is leading strategy is if it's led by the CEO. If it's led by the CEO and also governed by the board and supported by the wider leadership team. It can't be something that's just done on the side of the business. It has to be fully integrated. Measuring purpose, what a great question, and it's one we're often asked. And I'm not going to give an easy answer. I think two statements are true. What counts is what gets counted. What really counts can't be counted. And those two statements are actually true. So in a sense, we're dealing with a paradox here. My recommendation to companies is always to be very mindful when you're looking at measurement. When Blueprint started, we had a consultancy company who looked at it and came up with 140 KPIs. But we stood back from those KPIs and we thought, could anything really materially change in terms of their view of the purpose of the business and their view of people? And we thought you could meet all of those KPIs and not really shift those two things. So yes, it's important, and we're more and more getting involved with organisations looking at measurement, but always with a bit of caution around what's the real motivation behind it. Yes, it's really important that the investor community is supportive of this, as it is a wider system issue. What we're finding is there is a lot of investment companies looking to change, but maybe what's happening on the ground isn't really reflective of some of the statements from their leaders. What we would challenge investor companies to do is to actually look at their own purpose and see how they can become more purpose-led, and to see the advantages in doing so. And to really get an understanding of what that is. Because the investment community also need to understand why it is that they exist. And I think if one or two investment companies were to go on that journey, then that might help with this wider system shift.